Hey guys, welcome back to Millennial Ships, your place for self-care and relationship advice. And today we're going to be talking about my favorite dating tips, part 2. Hey guys, so today we're going to go through part 2 of my favorite dating tips. So let's get right into it. So number 6 is that you want to make him feel good. So when you're on a date, it's less about the things that you say and the things that you talk about and more about how you feel in the person's presence. So the same goes for him. Now, if he feels like he's funny and he's, attractive and, like he's saying all the right things, then he's going to feel really good around you. And that's going to make a really good first impression. The way that you can do this is just realize that he might be a little nervous, he's trying to impress you, and that you should be kind of open and receptive to things that he's saying. Now, you don't want to lie or pretend that you feel a certain way when you don't, but just be open, optimistic, non-judgmental, and it's going to make him feel really good, and it's going to just help give that first impression and make it really solid and strong. So number 7 is no interrogations. So I know you've already been on a million dates and none of them have gone well, and you just want to cut to the chase and get to the good stuff and ask him, does he want to get married? Does he want to have kids? What kind of future does he see in himself? You want to get to this stuff, but it's just not that great to bring that up on the first date. Nobody wants to feel like they're just being put on the spot and asked all these personal questions. And here's the thing about a first date, guys, that you need to understand. So it's not about that person's personality or your personality, because you can't possibly know somebody over, an hour-long dinner or a couple hours at dinner. You cannot know somebody. You don't know their past. You don't know what their plans are for anything. You just don't know who they are. So that first date isn't about their personality. It's about a vibe. That's what it is. It's about a vibe that you get from them and that they're getting from you. So even if you're not really uptight or eager to get married, like you're super desperate, even if you're not actually those things, if you're asking him a bunch of questions and trying to figure that stuff out, that's how it's going to come across. So your vibe is going to say, oh, this person is super desperate, or they're really intense and uptight, when you just maybe aren't those things. So that's one thing to keep in mind on a first date, that it's about the vibe and the vibe that you're giving across. And you want to give across a vibe of that you're fun, that you're non-judgmental, that you're easygoing, you're a happy person, because those are things that you probably are and that you want to show that you are with somebody else. So just keeping that in mind, that first dates are about the vibe, and do not interrogate him with a bunch of personal questions right off the bat. So number 8 is that you should give him a second and even a third chance. So like I said, when you're on a date with somebody, you cannot possibly know their entire personality over one dinner. So that means that, whatever was said or whatever was brought up on the first date, that doesn't really show you this person who they really are. So if you didn't absolutely hate him and didn't absolutely think he was awful, consider going on a second or third date, so you can get a real feel for his personality, and then you can make a more educated decision on whether or not you like this guy or not. Now, when I was dating, even if I kind of saw a guy and I didn't think he was that great, but, I didn't hate him, I would almost always say yes to a second date, or even a third, just because I wanted to see if maybe this would go in a different direction, or if it would be worth it to spend my time with that person. And a lot of times it was worth it. I was able to see a different side of somebody, because a first date can be a little bit nerve-wracking, there can be a lot of pressure, but it's the second and the third date where the other person will calm down and they will really feel like maybe they can show their true selves. Number 9, understand that dating is a numbers game. Now, I've written about this on my blog before and gotten some hate for it and some feedback, but the truth is, it just is. It is a numbers game. So the more people that you actually go out and see, the more chances that you're going to have finding somebody that you really like. So don't just be like, oh, I'm just going to meet people organically, or I'm just going to walk into a bookstore and my favorite person is going to come along, because that just might not be the case. Like, you do need to take the initiative and make dating a priority so that you increase your chances of finding somebody faster. If you go on 10 dates in a year, or if you go on 20 dates in a year, you're doubling your chances of finding somebody. So you definitely want to consider that and think about the fact that it's a numbers game. So number 10, guys, is that you don't want to rush it. Now, I know I just said to go out on a bunch of dates and be doing that stuff, but as soon as you find somebody that might be a long-term boyfriend, definitely take a step back, slow down. If he really is the one and you're going to spend the rest of your life with him, you have plenty of time to get to know each other and to figure things out before you settle down. If you settle down with somebody too quickly and you start living together and all of this stuff, it can backfire because you might end up together with somebody that maybe wasn't right for you or isn't the right person for you. And that is really awful, and it's hard to get out of relationships like that, especially if you have committed so much so soon. So definitely take things slow and make sure that you kind of unveil these things slowly and as they come about organically. So those are my 10 tips for dating and finding a long-term boyfriend who's really going to support you. I hope that you guys found that helpful. If you guys enjoyed it, please like this video and subscribe if you want to see more content. If you're interested, I also have a free dating mistakes e-course. I will put the link in the description below for that, and you can sign up for that. It's totally free, and it goes over 5 common dating mistakes that women tend to make. So thanks so much, you guys, for checking out the video, and I will see you on the next one.